Got me some Nightmare Man with 5 horrific true school lockdown stories, volume 5. It was like a school shooting like a couple weeks ago. I forgot where it was at, but it was like three students died and 3 adults died. I forgot where it was at though, but I want to say Nashville. But yeah, man, R.I.P. man. I hate the school. The time I had a school shooting, I was staying in Albany, Georgia. Y'all know that. You know what I'm saying? A motherfucker was following a motherfucker. He was shooting. I guess he was shooting that dude. He shot that dude, and dude that got shot ran inside the school type shit. Crazy shit. But yeah.
Lockdown. This is an emergency alert.
Before being taken on as a full-time teacher at a high school a little outside of Austin, Texas, I was a substitute. I would sub in for a multitude of classes, with my main subject area being math classes. Being a sub, I would most days have a lot more off periods, of course, since I would work more on an as-needed basis. This was on a day that started like any other. I had 4 classes I would be subbing for that day. They were all the math classes that a specific teacher would teach, including geometry and algebra. I would usually enjoy subbing for science classes, as the teachers would usually just have me show the class an educational documentary and then hand out a question sheet, which would be handed in at the end of the class. With math, though, you'd actually have to teach the material as a sub.
Shit. No fuck you ain't. Shit. Tell your ass on YouTube.
I arrived to school and picked up the keys from the front office to the 2 classrooms I'd be subbing in that day. Both classes were in the math hallway, which was downstairs to the far left of the school. The periods I was teaching that day were something like 2, 3, 7, and 9. I had already taught the first 2 classes, so I had about an hour and a half before the 7th period class I'd be teaching. During most of this time, I stayed in the classroom of the last class I just subbed for, since it was empty for the next 2 periods. I was doing a mix of work-related and non-work-related things on my laptop. Period 6, there would be another class here, so I'd migrate to the teacher's lounge by the back of the school. After the second bell rang and period 6 began, I was walking the empty halls to the teacher's lounge. I'd been in the lounge multiple times, and honestly, it would usually be subs sitting in there, if anyone.
I ain't gonna care.
The teacher's lounge is pretty much in the back.
I ain't gonna care. I kinda miss school. I ain't gonna care.
Corner of the school, by a separate back entrance that's only unlocked from the outside by teachers' ID cards. I set my belongings down on a table in the empty teacher's lounge, and this was when I heard knocks at the back exit door. I went out to the hall and to the doors, where I saw a clean-cut looking man with gray short hair and a button-down shirt tucked into khakis, with a black jacket over all of it. He looked like a teacher. He saw me through the glass and smiled and asked me to open the door. I asked if he were a teacher here. He said, "Yes, my name's Mr. Abrams. I don't have my ID on me today." I opened the door for him, and he thanked me and quickly walked past me. I noticed that now he had his hand in his right pocket. He had some serious movement in his step. He seemed to know where he was going. Actually, he was going in the direction of the math hallway. I suddenly felt like I may have made a mistake letting him in without ID.
You did,
I rushed to my laptop and pulled up the staff directory, which was accessible to all employees of the school. I looked up Mr. Abrams. There was not a single teacher at any of the schools, elementary to high school, with the last name Abrams. I had no choice but to call the front office and let them know that I think someone pretending to be a teacher had entered the building. This was taken seriously as the school issued a lockdown immediately, sending every classroom an automatic distress call to lock all doors and turn off all lights immediately. I heard a commotion from out in the math hallway. I walked out into the hall, a little closer, and I could hear bangs or kicks on a door, and a man screaming at the top of his lungs, "Maria, open up, and I know you're in there." Maria was the first name of the teacher I was subbing for that day, and I couldn't tell for sure, but I believe the door he was kicking on was one of the classrooms I subbed in that day.
Damn.
Police had surrounded the school in literally minutes, and had entered from multiple entrances and detained the man. I didn't witness it happen. It was down in the intersecting hallway, and I wasn't allowed past the police. The teacher I subbed for, who I changed the name for her privacy, had called out of work that week, originally alleging she was very sick. The man who came to the school banging on the door was apparently her ex-husband, and as far as rumor has it, Maria did something horrible to him. Not much of a rumor, because clearly that would be the case if he came to the school with a gun. Everyone's guess is he came to kill her and then himself. No one knew where Maria went to hide from her ex, or what the full story was. But she didn't return to work for months.
Damn.
I pray to God all the time thanking him that no one was hurt or killed, because I was the one to let him in, and that would have forever sat on my conscience.
I bet you didn't tell nobody that, did you?
Hey, why don't you guys invite me out for drinks?
We texted you in the group alliance chat.
Oh, wait.
I bet she didn't tell him that.
This story is told in the perspective of a college-aged female. I attend university in Massachusetts. I currently live off campus in my final year here, but this took place when I was a freshman living in the dorms. Freshmen are on the first floor of every building on campus. This was the winter semester. It was a freezing cold day. I just finished up my last class around 5 p.m. Our professor let us out really early. It was already dark out as I was walking back to my dorm. On my walk back, I got a text from the university. The text started in all capitals saying, "Attention all faculty and staff, get to a safe building immediately," as a suspicious man was walking around campus approaching women with crude, threatening comments and telling them he had a gun. The text mentioned that university police were aware of the issue and were on full alert, looking to find the man. I picked up the pace in my step to get back to my dorm building.
Got that bitch on
I started looking behind me every few seconds, and suddenly noticed someone walking not that far behind me. It was a black man in a huge winter coat. I couldn't gauge his age from this distance, but also
It gotta be my people with the nut shit. You heard what Mr. Nightmare said.
few seconds, and suddenly noticed someone walking not that far behind me. It was a black man in a huge winter coat. I couldn't gauge his age from this distance,
Shit, probably mine.
but also he could have just been a student.
In a winter coat.
At that point, I was being
Probably
paranoid.
mine.
Plus, the
Shite,
text
man.
didn't specify the
Never
person's
know.
race.
I'll be on
I
all
rushed
type
to my
of shit.
building, and when I got there, I let myself in. To get into any dorm buildings on campus, you need to use your student ID cards. I entered the building. The first door shut, then I opened the second door. That's when a loud bang at the first door made me jump. It was that man from behind me before. He was asking if I could open the door. I was about to ignore him, but then he said, "Please, I'm cold." I turned to look at him, and he had this pleading kind of expression on his face. I asked, "Do you live here? What's your room number?" He said, "Yes, he's on the 3rd floor," but he ignored my asking his room number twice. I said, "Sorry, I can't let you in." This is when he started saying vulgar, horrible shit that I don't want to repeat.
Uh-oh.
He started licking the glass and commenting about what he's going to do to me as soon as he gets into the building. In disgust, I ran to my room and slammed the door behind me. I turned on the lights as it was pitch black inside and my roommate wasn't back yet. I texted my dorm group chat saying, "I think the creepy man the school sent a warning about was at the front door of the dorm building. Don't come anywhere near." Everyone replied the same thing. "OMG, call university police." That's what I did.
They gonna get his
I
ass
got the
off
number
that
off the
bitch.
website and called them. Told them right away the creepy man with a gun was at our dorm
No,
building.
I've been in state.
And they asked
But
if he
also
was still
state,
there.
They gonna get your ass
Naturally, I
off.
walked to the window to look outside. I
Dug
screamed
out.
at the top of my lungs for 3 seconds when I saw the man on the other side of the glass, smiling, shaking his head, doing this disgusting motion with his tongue. I pleaded with the officer on the line to send the police there now.
My bad, y'all.
The man on the other side of the glass took off running, and he disappeared into the darkness as soon as he was beyond the light of the light post.
Man, I'm high, man. Leave
I
me
still
alone.
cried for the police to hurry.
Feeling good.
As soon as one of them got to my dorm room, I let him in and described what the man looked like. He told me to stay in my room and don't leave again for the night. He advised I tell all my friends in the building to do the same. An additional text was sent out to all residents of my building. The hunt for that man went all night, apparently. They never found him. The things he said to me were beyond disturbing. I didn't see a gun on him, but honestly, anything could have been in his massive coat pockets. The campus had
Anything.
extra police on duty the rest
I
of the
know
week.
the pockets I got. Put some shit on them, bitch. I have my gun up. You wouldn't even know I had my gun.
When I was in 2nd grade, each day of the week, we'd have a different extracurricular activity at some point in the day. I think it went Mondays was art class, Tuesdays was music class, Wednesday was library day, and so on. By 2nd grade, kids were allowed to walk to the bathroom unattended as long as they got permission and took the special hall pass item chosen by the teacher of the class. For the art class, it was this big green plastic crayon that was meant as the bathroom pass. I remember this memory almost vividly,
Oh, bad
which
as
makes
fuck.
it all the more disturbing when I think about it.
Okay.
Honestly, I was kind of a weird kid when I
Bro, I was bad as fuck when I was in second grade, bro. I ain't gonna even count to you. I was a bad bastard.
Was in elementary school. I did have some social issues that I don't think ever got diagnosed, but I would sometimes just do weird things. Case in point, we were never supposed to just take the bathroom pass and leave the classroom without asking first. But during art class, as our teacher...
Shit like that I do. And my mom watch my video. She gonna laugh when she see this, cause she know I'm dead ass serious. Every time, bruh, I got suspended so much, I had to move to a whole different county in second grade. I had to move to a whole, like, it ain't that far, like, it ain't nothing but like 30 minutes from each other. But I still had to move to a different county in second grade now. Go to a whole different county just to go to school in second grade. I used to do crazy shit and didn't give a fuck.
Disturbing when I think about
At
it.
all.
Honestly, I was kind of a weird kid when
I
I was in
feel like
elementary
that.
school.
Not giving a
I
fuck.
did have some social issues that I don't think ever got diagnosed, but I would sometimes just do weird things. Case in point, we were never supposed to just take the bathroom pass and leave the classroom without asking first. But during art class, as our teacher was going around the class helping the students out with our little creations,
Any class, I'm doing
got
it.
up and took the plastic crayon and walked out the classroom door to go to the bathroom. The bathroom was all the way down the hall. I go inside, and as a kid, I was the type to pee sitting down. So I went to the stall and sat on the toilet seat.
Whoa. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was standing up, man. What the fuck?
This was when I heard the loudspeaker outside the bathroom, that the school was going into lockdown. My heart started to race. I was outside of the classroom during a lockdown. I was terrified. I don't remember if I finished peeing or not, but I know I got right off the toilet seat and went outside back into the hall. I was scared I was going to get in trouble. I saw all the classroom doors were shut
And they
with
locked the
blinds
door.
down and lights off already.
Oh.
It was too late.
Boy, that shit sounds so familiar. Like I think I did some shit like that too. I ain't tripping. That's what I talked about earlier. I think I did that same shit. I had permission to go to the bathroom that time though. I think I went to the bathroom. They had what's your name? But when the alarm went off, I went to a teacher. A teacher seen me in the hallway. I finna get water and shit for the water fountain. And she told me to hurry up, come in her room. We were a whole different teacher though. But yeah.
Seat and went outside back
that
into
was
the
that
hall.
great, but it was something
I
I
was
saw
scared
like
I
that
was
too
going to get
though.
in trouble. I saw all the classroom doors were shut with their blinds down and lights off already. I was too late. I saw a man walking down the hallway.
You're
I
done.
assumed it was a teacher, even though he wasn't dressed like one.
You're
I
done.
had the wits of a second grader. So I said, "Excuse me, I'm locked out of my classroom." I remember vividly, he said back, "Oh, that's all right. Come with me. I know where to go."
Damn.
He grabbed my hand and we started walking in what seemed to be the direction of the back exit. That's when I heard a familiar woman's voice keep screaming Troy, my name, from behind us. It was my art teacher, Miss Green. She screamed at the man to get off me and grabbed me by the arm and tugged at me back to the art classroom.
That's a real
Once
teacher.
inside, she locked the door.
That's a
and
real
scolded me
teacher,
quietly.
cuz. That is
I
a
remember
real
seeing
teacher.
the
Miss
worry in
Green.
her eyes. She might have even been crying.
Man,
The lockdown continued.
W Miss Green, man, cuz. Well, any teacher would have did that, but I don't know. It depends, but I know most teachers would have did that though. Really, it's their job because they do their kid. That's their ass in many ways.
For another half hour.
And
at
a
least.
lawsuit.
The whole time I was confused,
Even though he
scared,
snowed.
and most of all embarrassed by all the stares my classmates were giving me.
Yeah.
The principal came on the loudspeaker eventually and said the lockdown was over. When my art teacher got on the phone with, I assume, the front office,
He got rolled up.
I think whatever she said was what prompted the faculty to end the school day early. I'm so grateful for Miss Green. She really put herself in danger and saved me from something horrible.
Yeah. W Miss
Saved me
Green.
from kidnapping
And
to any amount of emotional trauma.
For real. W Miss Green, man. She real fast, man.
All heroes, all villains,
Me
or
personally.
mix. Create the best 5-character team.
Now, when it come to kids, man, wait.
This happened to me when I was a junior in high school, around April or May of 2019. I live on the Mississippi Gulf Coast, but for privacy reasons, I'll leave out the school name. I played the double bass in our school wind ensemble, and every morning we had rehearsal in the band hall.
Oh,
We
man.
were about halfway through rehearsal when I heard a knock on the band hall door, which opened to the outside. I don't think anyone else heard the knock because we were in the middle of performing a song, and I was standing with my double bass on the perimeter of the ensemble, along with the percussionists, I was closer to the door.
I used to be in the band.
Before anyone could say anything or react, one of the percussionists who I knew just blindly went over to the door and opened it for the person outside.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I was so goddamn bad, I couldn't even stay in regular school. I ain't gonna count. After 7th grade, that shit was over with, cool. I couldn't even. But I really graduated from alternative school. Alternative school without that shit. I don't know if I'm saying the right thing. Alternative school, when the bad kids go. That's where I went. But still graduated, and I graduated early.
Repeatedly told by the band directors to never open that door for anyone on the outside unless it was a student. And even the students had to show their student ID badges through the window before being let in. But we still have to open that door a lot for other students as it locks on its own. So he probably just opened it without thinking and...
Y'all motherfuckers talking about so the lad in the Mr. Voller video, he meant, I don't think he meant, I still gotta go back and watch that video, because sometimes I don't think, I didn't. I would have caught that. Sometimes I watch my video with my mom. I rewatch my video with my mom. And goddamn, I catch some shit that I did, but I'm gonna go back on that video, because I think I had fucked up. I was like, he said college instead of, I said high school, but he said college. I just got him mixed up.
Didn't look through the window. As soon as he opened the door, the person forcefully came in and walked to within 15 to 20 feet from where I was standing.
Damn!
He was a middle-aged Latino man, about 5'6", wearing a gray hoodie and cargo shorts. I immediately noticed that the guy had both of his hands in his hoodie.
He got
what appeared to be a heavy object. The band director saw him first and immediately stopped conducting. And the rest of the band turned their heads around to see what was going on.
Yeah, okay.
The band director asked with a nervous but forceful tone, "Can I help you?" The man replied in broken English, "Yes, I came to check out my daughter." The band director asserted, "This is not where you check out students. You shouldn't be here." The man then asked where he should go to check out his daughter. And to my surprise, the band director directed him to go out the band hall double doors and make a right down the school's main hallway to the front office. The man thanked the director and quickly walked out of the band hall into the school. During this whole conversation, I had my double bass turned in the man's direction and stood behind it so that it would maybe somewhat shield me from any bullets. After the man had disappeared down the hallway, the entire orchestra was speechless for a minute or so, processing what just happened. The director immediately called the school security, and within a minute or so, the school was on lockdown. The director turned off all the lights in the band hall, and we all crammed inside whatever tuba lockers we could find. A whole 5 minutes passed until 2 armed security guards came running full speed through the band hall in the direction that the man had gone. Another 10 or so minutes passed and the lockdown was over. The school never came out with an official statement of the event, nor could I even find any local news articles about it. I suppose the school was trying to keep the whole thing a secret, for such a stupid breach of security would certainly damage its reputation. But I later heard from multiple other students that the man had just committed an armed robbery somewhere near the school and was fleeing on foot from the police when he decided to take refuge in the school, pretending to pick up his daughter. I also heard that he was found with a gun on him, which explains the heavy object I noticed in his hoodie pocket. The fact that I was standing literally 15 or so feet from an armed intruder inside of a school for a whole 2 minutes still terrifies me to this day. Although I know the band director was probably trying to keep us cool so as not to piss the guy off and cause him to shoot all of us or something, I still think he made a huge mistake by directing the man to go further into the school instead of telling him to go back outside and enter the school through the front door like every other parent.
Not just college, like they need to put more police officers at school, like from 8 in the morning, from 3 in the afternoon, or 4, whatever time y'all get out of school, shit. Yeah, they got it for college here. They big grown motherfuckers don't need that shit. Well, they do kind of need it for college. They do need it for college, but still. Them big grown motherfuckers don't need that shit. Us big grown motherfuckers don't need that shit for real. Hell,
or visitor has to.
Nigga better carry on some
that man had
taser or some shit.
That situation
gun
ended tragically. I'm glad I'm not in high school anymore. Because now I know firsthand how easily such things could happen at the hands of a careless mistake.
Damn sure can. It can. It can, now.
This experience was short and to the point. I was a very young child in Catholic private school. I was in the 4th grade. Our school would routinely practice lockdown drills. I think once every couple of weeks we'd have one. All of us in the class were always excited for them. For some reason, as kids, we just found it to be fun. It's all a joke when you're that young. Half the kids don't even realize what you're practicing for, and the other half who do don't ever expect to realize.
Now that I'm older, I see why. But back then, that shit was fun. Shit, you get to see all different classes all together. Like shit, they got my long cousin over there.
Came a voice from the front office saying,
What's
"We're
up,
going
guys?"
into lockdown. This is not a drill."
Okay.
I remember some kids still laughed at the announcement, as if it were cool to hear that we're going into lockdown. No one could have prepared for what came next. As our teacher seemed concerned and rushed to shut the door on the lights and yelled at us to get in the corner,
Oh, shit.
I think that's when everyone realized this wasn't just a regular lockdown drill. Something serious was going on. We all huddled in the corner of the room. Each door had a narrow glass window which could be looked through. Suddenly the silence was broken by
I got
crazy
two
screaming
videos
from
for
the
y'all.
halls. It was one lone male's voice. It was just incoherent screaming. The man was chanting something. The screams got closer, and I remember how scared we all started to get. The screams got closer until they were right outside our classroom door, and then bangs on the door made a bunch of us scream and cry. The man on the other side of the door screamed, "Your God is dead. Jesus didn't die for your sins. You're all gonna burn." Our teacher tried his best to calm us down.
Fuck
as the
you.
screams intensified.
That nigga
The man
a
started
meth
to
head.
yell, "I hear you in there. I see you. Open up the door." The man screamed words I didn't understand at
That nigga is a meth head. I don't care. Gotta be.
the time, but I believe looking back, he was screaming Islamic phrases and shaming our religion. I was too young to put it all together immediately. The bangs on our door stopped, and the screams continued further down the hall away from the door, but they could still be heard. The crazed man continued through the halls.
Where the police?
The man's screams were
Where's
overpowered
security?
eventually by the yells of other men. There was a huge commotion in the halls during what I presume to be the moment he was taken down by police or security. He had to stay in the lockdown position for a long time even after this. After a while, the lockdown was over, and the school day was cut short. Parents were called to pick up their children. Luckily, my mom didn't work, so she was able to come pick me up right away. It was a bit of a scarring experience.
Yeah.
We were all so young that we didn't even understand the
You see how long
gravity
it
and
took for
freakishness of the
security to
situation.
come? Hell.
I'm just glad no one got hurt.
Oh no. Then they always talking about so if it's a school shooter, don't run out there to the motherfucker cause it might be somebody in the wood. Man, fuck that. Nigga, I'm running. No, for real. But yeah, that was Mr. Nightmare, man. I got another. I'm finna go ahead and make a video. I know these videos gonna come out late. I might post the other video first. Anyway, man, give you guys all the like, subscribe, see how motherfuckers on that video. Let it ride, nigga.
Don't you come back no more. What you say?